students. Today we will discuss the last part of the chapter alcohol, phenol and ethers. We will discuss about ethers, the methods of preparation and the properties. So let's start with the preparation of ether. There are two methods. First it is dehydration of alcohol and second one is Williamson synthesis. In the dehydration of alcohol, we had already discussed that when alcohol is treated with concentrated H2SO4 at low temperature, it gives the ether. And when it is treated with concentrated H2SO4 at high temperature, that was 443 Kelvin, then it was giving alkane. Okay. Now, it is basically suitable for the ethers which are having the primary alkyl part. See, this ether, it is having the CH2, CH3, CH2, CH3. So, these alkyl part, they are primary, so it is suitable for them only. And when it is primary alkyl part, it is following the SN2 mechanism that we had already discussed in haloalkanes and haloarenes. In case of 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols, it follows the elimination reaction and it prefers the formation of alkenes. Now let's see what is the mechanism when we are having the primary alkyl groups. What is the mechanism, how it is taking place by SN2 mechanism. First we will draw the structure of the alcohol. In the first step, protonated alcohol is going to be formed. CH3, CH2, O, H. O is having two lone pairs of electrons in presence of H plus ions because it is taking place in the presence of acid. Now, the movement of lone pair of electron towards this positively charged hydrogen and it's going to form protonated alcohol. That means one H gets attached with the oxygen and giving it a positive charge. This is also called as oxonium ion. Now, in the second step, students, this oxonium ion or protonated alcohol get attached by the nucleophilic attached by the another alcohol molecule. This is the another alcohol molecule. Now, I draw the structure over here. CH3, CH2, O, H, H. Okay. Now, this lone pair of electron, it gets attached on this carbon and this bond present between this carbon and oxygen shifts on this oxygen. Okay. So, what you will get over here? CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. Okay. Now, along with this H, it is attached with this oxygen. We had shown this one, and this carbon, it is getting attacked by this, and we are getting this product where the positive charge is still present on this, and along with this H2O molecule comes out. Okay. Now, the third step, it is the elimination of proton. Let's draw the structure of this second oxonium ion. CH3, CH2, O, positive charge, CH2, CH3. Now, elimination of proton, this bond shifts on this and it's going to form CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. Okay, one lone pair of electron was already there and one electron pair it will regain. Okay, so here in these three steps, the alcohol gets converted into ether and it is following the SN2 mechanism. Okay, in the first step, protonated alcohol is formed, and in the second step, nucleophilic attack of another alcohol molecule takes place, and in the third step, elimination of proton takes place. Now, the next method, it is Williamson synthesis. Williamson synthesis, when alkyl halide reacts with sodium alkoxide, they gives ether along with sodium halide. SN2 mechanism it is following, that is why it is better for 1 degree alkyl halide. Okay. Same here also 2 degree and 3 degree, that is secondary and tertiary alkyl halides, they prefer elimination reaction and they forms the alkene. See students, here we are having alkoxide ion in the solution, and alkoxide ions, they are not only the nucleophiles, they are not only acting as a nucleophile but they are also strong base. Okay, so they are because they are strong base, so they prefer the different type of reaction. See here, when we are having methyl chloride, it is reacting when with this type of sodium alkoxide. So what is the product form? This Cl will combines with Na. Okay, and the product formed is CH3 will get attached with this O. So CH3O, CH, CH3, CH3. Okay, so when you have been given the product, and from the product you have to derive the structure of the alkyl halide and sodium alkoxide in the Williamson synthesis. Students, one of the bond, either bond you have to break, and one side you have to write halogen atom, and one side with that oxygen you have to write sodium. So you have to decide which one should be preferred. If you break this bond, then it will be CH3, Cl or Br, whatever halogen you are taking, and this will be the alkoxide part. So always prefer the smaller primary alkyl part. Here the smaller alkyl part will be preferred to be as alkyl halide. Suppose this type of alkyl halide we are having. This is the tertiary alkyl halide, and when it combines with this type of sodium alkoxide, sodium methoxide, then it prefers, because this is tertiary, so it prefers to undergo elimination, and we are not going to get any ether. Besides, the product will be CH3, CH3 double bond CH2. Okay, and this Cl will combine with this Na. The side product will be NaCl along with the CH3O, and one H was coming from here, so CH3OH. Okay, now in our back exercise, some questions are given. Here, write the names of the reagents and equations for the preparation of the following ethers by Williamson synthesis. Ethoxybenzene, and one more I have taken 2-methoxy, 2-methyl propane. Now we have to write down the reagents which are used in the Williamson synthesis for the preparation of these ethers. In this, if you will see oxygen, one side we are having phenyl group and one side we are having ethyl group. See, if you are going to break this bond, then the reagent will be CH3CH2Cl and C6H5ONA. But we know that when there is a oxygen atom attached with the benzene ring, then it is having partial double bond character and it is difficult to break. So always the break of this bond will take place. This carbon oxygen will break, and this oxygen and carbon bond will not break because this is a benzene ring. So what will be the reagents? CH3, CH2Cl plus C6H5ONA. Okay, so now you can say this Na will combine with this Cl and you will get C6H5O, CH2CH3. Okay, now let's see this example. 2-methoxy, 2-methyl propane. This is a propane molecule, this is methoxy and this is methyl. Okay, now let's focus on the oxygen. Either this bond should break or this bond should break. Okay, now if this bond will break, this carbon is tertiary. Okay, and tertiary carbons, they prefer to give the alkene. So here if we want this product, then we should take CH3Cl, and along with this we will draw the structure of this compound. CH3, CH3, this one is having one CH3 and ONA. So if we are going to take these reagents, then we are getting the ether. But if you will take the reverse one, that is a different one, this Cl and this one as the alkoxide part, then it will prefer to undergo elimination reaction. Okay, now in the properties of ethers, we have to discuss two types of properties, reactions given by it. First one, it is when the cleavage of carbon-oxygen bond takes place. We know that ethers, they are the least reactive functional groups. So they are not giving so many reactions. Only two types we are going to see. First, when the cleavage between carbon and oxygen bond takes place. And second one, electrophilic substitution reactions of ether. As the phenols, same way, they are also having the two lone pair of electrons on the oxygen. Suppose if you are having this anisole, when we are talking about the anisole where oxygen is one side having phenyl group and one side it is having the methyl group, that is called as anisole. Now this anisole, this oxygen is having same two lone pair of electron as it was in the phenols, and because it is having the plus R effect, it is having ortho para directing effect. Okay, so it directs the incoming electrophile at its ortho and para positions. So we are having four reactions which are coming under this category. First one, when this anisole reacts with bromine in acetic acid, so it's going to form ortho and para substituted products. So Br will come at its ortho and para position. Let's draw their structures. Here we are having OCH3. First we will get the Br at ortho position, and in the second product we are going to get Br at its para position. What is the name of this compound? Ortho bromo anisole. And what is the name of this compound? It is para bromo anisole. Now, concentrated H2SO4 and HNO3, if we are taking the mixture of this nitrating mixture, that's going to introduce NO2 group, and the same way we are going to get ortho and para substituted products as we have got earlier case. Here OCH3 at ortho position, and here NO2 group at the para position. Okay, so here it is ortho nitroanisole and this is para nitroanisole. Same in that way you can write. Now when it is reacting with alkyl halide in presence of Lewis acid, then Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction takes place and alkyl group is going to get introduced at its ortho, sorry, here it should be OCH3 at ortho position as well as its para position. See students, if there is no OCH3 group, then what is the name of this compound? Toluene. And if it is there OCH3, then its name it is methoxy. So we will write down its name ortho methoxy toluene. And this is para methoxy toluene. And you know that if you have to write the IUPAC name, you will use, instead of ortho and para, you will use the numbers 2 and 4. 2-methoxytoluene, 4-methoxytoluene. And the name of this reaction it is Friedel-Crafts alkylation. In the back exercise you will get this question. Write the Friedel-Crafts alkylation of anisole or Friedel-Crafts acylation of anisole. So this is the name reaction. Now if you are introducing acyl group, then in the same way its name will be Friedel-Crafts acylation. Okay, and in this again the acyl group is going to get introduced at its ortho and para position. Let's draw their structure. This is OCH3 and this is CO. This COCH3 group is going to come here, COCH3, and here at para position OCH3 COCH3. Okay, now if there is no methoxy group, then it is acetophenol, and here at ortho, so you will write down its name ortho methoxy acetophenol. And the name of this compound will be para-methoxy acetophenol. So we are having 4 ESR of ether that you can easily remember. So I should rub this board so that we can use this part for the explanation of the cleavage of CO bond. So now students, we will discuss the cleavage of CO bond. When we are taking the ether molecule and it combines with HX, HCl, HBr or HI, then we are getting one alkyl group attached with this X and we get one alcohol molecule. Suppose here this R combines with X and we are getting Rx, and the remaining ROH we get in the side product. Okay. Now if you are taking HX in excess, then another HX molecule again combines with this alcohol molecule and converts it into alkyl halide. So in the Williamson synthesis we had discussed how alkyl halide was converted into ether, and here in this ether is again converted into alkyl halide. Okay. Now when we are taking this type of ether, where one side is alkyl part and one side is having the phenyl part, and it's going to react with HX. So either this bond should break or this bond should break. As we had already discussed that this bond is comparatively stronger because it got partial double bond character. So this bond easily breaks and we get Rx. Okay, so the product will be Rx along with C6H5OH. Okay, now the reaction goes faster with the HI as compared to HBr, as compared to HCl. They are the effective acids. Okay, because iodine it is a better nucleophile. Let's go for the mechanism part. For the mixed ether means along the both sides of the oxygen atom we are having different alkyl groups. Here we have taken one methyl ethyl ether. Along one side we are having methyl group and one side we are having the ethyl group. So this is an example of mixed ether. When it combines with HI, this bond shifts on this and this lone pair of electron gets attacked with this H plus. Okay, and here we are getting protonated ether. This is protonated because this is ether. It gets attacked with one hydrogen. So this is now protonated ether. Okay. Now this protonated ether now gets attacked by iodide ion. This iodide ion attacks on this protonated ether. Now students, this is a better nucleophile and this iodide ion prefers to attack on that alkyl part when there is a choice between 1 degree and 2 degree. It prefers the smaller one. Okay, it always prefers the primary alkyl part as compared to secondary. So here this is methyl, this is ethyl, both are primary but it prefers the smaller one. So iodide ion will attack on this carbon. Okay, so here I had shown the partial bond between iodine and CH3 group and it is still partially attached with this oxygen atom. Okay, this is unstable and very soon it breaks to form CH3I. See here CH3I and this bond CH3CH2OH. This molecule comes, this alkyl part comes as in the form of alcohol. Okay, now when we are taking HX, as we had seen here, when we are taking HX in excess, then this alcohol again combines with HX. So we are taking this alcohol over here and it again combines with HX. Okay, here we are just assuming that we are taking HI in excess. So again the same way this bond shifts over here, heterolytic cleavage takes place and this lone pair of electron with this alcohol, it attacks on this proton and again you will get protonated alcohol. This is alcohol, so here it is protonated alcohol. It was ether, so here you get protonated ether. Now this is protonated alcohol. This protonated alcohol now gets attacked by the same way, gets attacked by the iodide ions. Now iodide ions, they attack on this carbon and this bond shifts over here and this part, it comes out in the form of water molecule and here CH3CH2I. So both the part, both C2H5 and CH3, they are coming in the form of iodide. See, CH3I first we got and this second step we got a C2H5I if we are taking HI in excess. Okay, so this is the mechanism for mixed ether. But very interesting case over here, students, if we are having tertiary, suppose if this type of ether is there, where one side of the oxygen we are having primary alkyl part and one side we are having tertiary. So now the iodide part, this I minus, it will attack on the tertiary part and we will get the structure here. Here I will just draw the structure. I. And along with this we get CH3OH. Okay, so why the iodide has not preferred over here the smaller part as smaller alkyl part, but it has preferred the tertiary? It is again seen in the mechanism. When one of the alkyl part it is the tertiary, then it follows the SN1 mechanism. Here we got the protonated ether. This protonated ether, it forms the carbonium ion, which is more stable. So here you can show that this is the protonated ether. This bond shifts on this oxygen and it prefers to form the tertiary carbonium ion, which is more stable. Now this iodide ion now attacks on this positively charged carbonium ion and it forms the product. So here we had seen that whenever there is out of primary, secondary and tertiary, if there is tertiary, then iodide will prefer the tertiary carbon. And if there is primary and secondary, or if there is a smaller group, then the iodide will prefer the smaller alkyl part first. Okay, so let's take this question, student. Here, example 11.7. Give the major products that are formed by heating each of the following ethers with HI. Okay, let's draw their structure. CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3, HI. Now we have to write down the structures of one of the alcohol and one of the alkyl iodide. Now this iodine will go to the smaller part. It is ethyl and this is also primary. This is also primary, this is also primary, but this is a smaller part, so iodide will goes to this carbon. So what is the structure of the product? CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, OH along with CH3, CH2. Okay, because here this is the smaller part. Let's take one more question. CH3, CH2, CH2O, C. Now, in this case, HI when reacts with this, either this alkyl part should react with iodide or this one should combine with iodide. So here we can say this carbon which is attached to the oxygen is tertiary and this carbon which is attached to the oxygen is primary. So it will prefer this one. So which alkyl halide is going to be formed? This one, CH3, CH2, C, CH3, CH3 and I. And one more question, student, here. Benzene rings are there. CH2, O. Okay. Now, when it is combining with HI, either this one break and iodide should goes here, or this one should break and iodide should goes here. So, which one should iodide prefer here? Because we had already discussed this bond is comparatively stronger. So iodide will goes to the CH2 and the structure will be CH2I along with this OH. Okay, so in this way, students, you can practice the questions because many a times the questions are asked in this way, and in the boards it is compulsory to write both the products. If you are writing only one product, then the marks will not be there. So keep on practicing the questions. Here we are completed with our chapter. Thank you.